Yeah, 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 yeah. Moving, 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 moving. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to lesson 3 of the Lego Mindstorms EV3 sensors and motors lessons that I'm currently slapping together for you guys to watch on YouTube. This one is going to be a little bit longer of a video. I apologize. I'm going to try and break it up into sections, and I'm also going to try and go quick through the building instructions and through the programming instructions. This is lesson 3. We're going to talk about the infrared sensor, and I'm going to show you a couple things. Right now I'm not going to get into the remote control stuff. That's later on in lesson 6. But right now we're just going to kind of show you what the remote, what the infrared sensor can do and how it can help you control your robot from mostly running into obstacles. This is lesson 3 of the sensors and motors, and today we're going to focus on the ultrasonic sensor. I really hope that I get a good video going here, so I'm going to try and go pretty quick through this build part because we're going to go and look at some programming principles in a second. But first of all, we got to get this infrared sensor mounted onto the chassis that we built the other day. So this is the bottom of the tracker, and we're going to program that in a minute. So I'm going to go pretty quick through this, but what you're going to need is the infrared sensor, 2 of the hockey stick Lego pieces, 1 5Z, I call them 5Zs, 4 connector black connectors, 2 extra long blue connectors, 2 short regular blue connectors, and 2 red bars that are of length 11. So I'm going to show you how to put this together. And we're going to mount it on the front, and we're going to have the ultrasonic sensor is going to mount up like this. So flip it around and make sure that your Mindstorms is showing the numeric side. And I think that the ultrasonic sensor expects to go in port 4. So anyways, let's just get this going. So take the ultrasonic sensor, turn it around, okay? And you're going to put these 2 blue ones in there. Now the good thing about the blue ones is that they have, on one side, they have the regular connector circle, and the other side they have kind of a star-shaped pattern that allows you to do things with. So then the next step we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 black pieces, and we're going to join them like this and make sure that the bottom arm is pointing outwards. So you want these things to point outwards. Then what we're going to do is we're going to run a little bit of a stable piece across to hold it together. So we're going to put 1 black connector in the 1, 2, 3, 4th slot down, another black connector on the other side, 4th slot down, and then snap in the 5 across to make it a little bit more rigid. It'll still move a little bit, but that'll give it a little bit of support. So now we're going to attach these 2 blue items together, and what we're going to do is we're going to attach, sorry, the 2 red ones, and we're going to attach them to the frame. My frame might look a little different than yours because I had to build this up, because don't forget I got a battery pack in there, so I had to build this up so that it would clear the bottom. The battery pack makes it hard. I also wanted to point out too that if anybody's got a Wi-Fi dongle in your EV3 brick, that you will also have to elevate this so that the Wi-Fi dongle will fit. So I'll let me know in the comments if you guys watch this video, if you want to learn a little bit more about how do you do a dongle with the Wi-Fi. It's a lot easier to connect to your computer. Anyways, let's go here. We're going to take this one of these blues, and we're going to push it through so that the long end pops out. I just want to make sure I line these up properly. Yes, it's got to be at the second last one. So the second last hole, push one through. Make sure, second last hole, push one through, okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to put the other red one on top, snap them together so that they're like that, okay? Now, mount the blue push pins onto the frame like that, just underneath the numeric ones, because what we're going to do is we're going to put the the infrared sensor out like this, okay? So now, what we want to do is put, let me just make sure I line this up right, okay? On the corner, put 1 black one on the back side, and put the other black one on the other side. I'll just make sure you can see this. And then we're just going to mount it onto the front like that. So it should look like this, okay? Now we're going to we're going to put in our, could have probably done this part before, and I'm just going to wrap this around a couple of times, okay, just to put it out of the way, and then I'm going to snap it into slot 4. Hope you can see all this. You can be a little rough with it, just got to, probably should have snapped that in beforehand, okay. Let me just make sure this is on, okay. There you go. Okay, so now that's connected. Actually, the other thing I just wanted to quickly show you was the back. When we put the back together, there's a lot of wires sticking out all over the place, or cables. So what I did was I took 2 of the gray connectors. Let me just see if I can show you guys this quickly. I took 2 of the gray connectors and I just snapped them together like this. And then in the back, I just snapped them onto one here, like here. And then now you have a place to tuck your your cables in. They just kind of tuck in better, a little bit better, so they're not dragging on the ground. Anyways, it's not a big deal. It's just a way to kind of control your cables. You can actually wrap them around too. But anyways, that's the robot now with the infrared sensor mounted on the front. Launch your EV3 home software, and up here, click on File, New Project in the top left corner. It's going to start a new project. And we're going to then save our project as, and we're going to change this. We're going to change it. We're going to save this as IR sensor. Okay. And we're going to double click here on this program title, and we're going to give this a name. We're going to call it forward then backward. Forward then backward. Okay. I'm going to do these little. We're going to do 4 programs. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to do some simple movements on our robot. We're going to call it the let's just call it the tracker bot. So we're going to call it tracker bot, and we're going to just have this robot go forward for 3 seconds and then go backwards for 3 seconds, just to make sure that everything's all put together right, that the tracks work, and that it can go in a straight line. So to do that, we're going to, this is the start block. This is what they use to start any program. So you need this here, the play button. And we're going to go down and we're going to grab move steering. For this exercise, we're going to do move steering. There's move. I don't want to get into it too much, but there's a move steering and there's a move tank, and there's uses and reasons for both. But right now, I'm just going to stick to something simple, and we're just going to go with the move steering. They're quite similar, but you can go online and look up other things to see what the difference is between the two. And what we're going to do is we're going to, and as I go through, I'll try to quickly give you some instructions on what things mean. But when you have the move steering on, you can either have the motors off, which is important if you want to turn them off and stop them abruptly. You can turn them on, which means that they'll go forever if you have these in a loop and stuff like that. You can put on for seconds, which is what we're going to do. You can on for degrees, and you can on for rotations. The on for degrees obviously is as the motor's spinning, it's turning through degrees, through 360 degrees, which would be a full circle. And then on for rotations would be a rotation of the motor itself. But for this purpose, we're going to go on for seconds, and the direction is going to be straight up. You can see, I think this one, yes, it does turn, which is kind of nice about the move steering, is that you can visually see as you drag the cursor around where your motor is going to go, because it's actually working on both the B and C ports. But like I said, I don't want to get into this too much. I just want to try and show you guys how the IR sensor works, but we just want to get this tank moving. So we're going to go forward. Here's the power. We're just going to go at 75 power, and then we're going to go for 3 seconds. So click on that and change that to 3. And then it's going to go forward for 3 seconds. Brake at the end is true. You can either brake or coast. Okay, we want it to brake. We want it to come to an abrupt stop. Not that it matters. And then what I'm going to do is copy. I guess right click doesn't work, but I know how to do this. You do a Control C, which is copy. Click somewhere else and do a Control V, which is paste. You can probably go up here and do the edit, copy and paste too. But anyways, so now what we want to do is at the end of this, it's going to go forward for 3 seconds. We want it to go backwards for 3 seconds. So the way that you do that is that you give the power a negative number, which means go backwards. So we're going to go down to minus 75. there you go, minus 75. So now what this is going to do, this is going to go forward for 3 seconds and then go backwards for 3 seconds in a straight line. And I've got a video and I can show that to you. So, as a demonstration. Okay, save this project. Hi everyone, let's create our second program. Our second program is going to do something different. It's going to actually use the infrared sensor. So I clicked on the plus sign up there, double click on the program. We're going to call this one FWD for forward, sense, prox, which stands for proximity, stop. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go forward with the robot until we sense something with the proximity detector of the infrared sensor, and then it's going to cause the robot to stop. So this is a good application so your robot doesn't go into a wall. So the way that we got to do that is we want our robot to continue until something happens. And if you guys have any knowledge about the programming language, to continue until something happens is exactly what a loop is. So we'll snap that to our start. So what's going to happen is something inside this loop is going to go, and there's always conditions on the loop. And right now, this is going to loop forever. Now what do we want to loop forever? We want to loop our robot going forward forever. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a move steering block inside the loop. And that means that this loop will be continuous, continuous, continuous. And what we want to do is we want to set our motor on, okay? And then we'll just go at 75 power. I don't care if the robot doesn't tear around the room, but 75 is actually good because you can kind of jump in front of it if you don't want it to do something stupid. Anyways, okay, so that means that this loop is going to loop it for infinity, and inside the loop is our motor to move, so it's going to move forever. But we want it to stop. We want the motor to stop when our infrared sensor detects that it's getting close to a wall. And the way you do that is instead of going unlimited, you click on it. As you can see here, there's a whole bunch of different conditions under which you can control your loop. Again, go online and look around about loops. Maybe one day I'll do something about the loops. But basically, what you want to do here is set a condition upon which your loop will end. And what we want to do here is we want our loop to end when our infrared sensor determines that it's getting close to something. And that's what the proximity is for. Now, I'm going to go into, because this is the first time I've shown you the sensor controls, the proximity is how close something is. And this is not necessarily a distance. This is a percent based on proximity. So you kind of got to fool around with this number. I'll show you what I mean later. The beacon heading, that is basically where the beacon, which is the infrared, is turned to the beacon mode and it's kept on, and the infrared sensor can see that infrared signal that's being sent from the remote. Okay, that we may or may not touch on. That's kind of an advanced thing. The beacon proximity, that's when the robot or the infrared sensor is getting close to the beacon, there is another number. And as it gets closer and closer, I believe the number gets smaller. Then there's the remote, where you can actually send a signal through the beacon, which is actually acting in a remote mode, to it. But right now we're just going to worry about infrared sensor proximity. So as you can see, when I selected proximity, there's a couple of variables here. The variable is, you can do a mathematical equation here where you can say less than, equal to, or greater than. But what we want to do is we want to stop our robot when we get fairly close to something. I'm going to set that to 10. As you can see, the threshold is dropping. If I set this to 80, visually it's higher. So what I want to do is I want to stop when I get close to the wall. So I'm going to set that to 10. The higher the number, the farther away from something it'll stop. I want it to get close. So basically that's going to be program 2. What we're going to do is we're going to loop and we're going to go forward until something happens. This could be your hand, this could be the wall. I've got a video to show you guys this. So I'm going to take a quick break. Again, not visible to you, but I'm going to go and I'm going to save this project, and I'm going to go and start program 3 in this lesson. Thank you. It stops. Okay? But what it does is it coasts to an end. Stops. Right? Okay, let's create a third program. We're going to call this one, double click on the program, we're going to call it forward, FWD, sense, okay, stop, turn. So what we're going to do is we want this robot now to get a little bit smarter. We want it to, when it's walking forward and it detects something, we want it to stop. Actually, I'm going to make this more clear. We're going to stop and go backwards and then turn. So we want to get away from the whatever it is that we're getting close to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little trick on how we're going to. So I'm just going to leave it at this though. Forward, sense, stop, turn. Okay. You know what? No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna put the word back in here because I want it to be very clear. Back. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this block, because this is already a block that, like, it, you know, it goes forward until it senses something and then it stops. But we want to build on that. So let's just take this, copy it by doing, select it by clicking on it, then doing an edit, copy. Okay. Then click on the other program and do an edit. Sorry, edit, paste. Okay. Drag it over, snap it to the start block. Okay, now what this is doing is, if you recall, we're just going to do in a forward. It's going forward at 75 power until it detects that it's getting very close to a wall. I would suggest, by the way, that you guys just play with this number. Set it to 20, set it to 30, set it to 40, do whatever you want. Just fool around with it a little bit and you'll see that you can stop your robot further and further away. As a matter of fact, I might make it 20. Just so that it stops a little bit further back from the wall. And then what we want it to do now is, instead of just sitting there and facing the wall, we want it to back up. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop in a move steering block, and we're going to go backwards because we want to come back from the wall. So we're going to give it a minus 75. Oh, sorry. We're going to give it a minus, I'd rather just type it, minus 75 value, which means go backwards. And we're going to do that on a, for 1 second. So I set that to seconds. And we're going to go backwards for 1 second. That's just going to pull us off the wall. You can do it. You can go back for degrees, rotations, whatever you want to do. Fool around with that a little bit too. I'm just going to come back for 1 second off the wall. And then what we want to do is then we're gonna and then it says we're gonna turn. So we want to turn so that we're not facing the wall anymore. So that if we continue on, which I'll show you in our fourth program, we're going to create a program that will just have this thing go forever. But what we want to do this time is we want to turn. And I think that you're probably getting the knack of it now. We're just going to move steering block up there, and we're just going to say, you know what? I just want to turn. I'm just going to go for rotations is fine. Rotations is how much the wheel turns. The motors turn, and we're going to set this value here to 50. As you can see, as I slide, it's showing you the direction it's going to go in. I want it to turn away from the wall, so we're going to give it about a 50. Is always a nice number. Again, type it in. It's going to turn to the right, and we're going to do it at 75 power, and the number of rotations is going to be 3. Fool around with these numbers. Okay. This is going to do a 90-degree turn, I promise you guys. I tested this already. Okay, that's the end of program number 3. I'm going to take a quick break, again not visible to you, and we'll come back and we'll put this all together so that this robot can now go forever. I've got a video I think I'm going to show you about this now too. Save my project, okay? And we'll talk to you in a sec. Okay, hi everybody. We're going to create our fourth and final program. We're going to kind of put everything together. This is going to be called, double click again on the program title up here, and it's going to be called Go Forever, okay? And what we're going to do now is we're going to take everything and put it together so that this robot will go it'll keep walking, or sorry, it will keep moving around, detecting a wall, backing up, turning, going forward, detecting, backing, turning, forward, detecting, backing, turning. You can put your hand in front of it, you can put your foot in front of it to make it stop and turn. But what we're going to do is we're going to take some of what we've already learned and put it all together. So the trick about this one is we need a loop. Actually, let's go and get the one from, let's go get this one from here. So the forward sense stop, we're just going to take that one, okay? And we're going to copy. We're going to do an edit copy. And we're going to go to our Go Forever, and we're going to do edit paste, or Control V. Control V is faster. Control C, Control V. So now what's happening is our robot is going to go until it detects something, okay? Now when it detects that thing, which is going to be a wall, we're going to want it to turn and keep going. We're going to want it to turn and keep going. We want it to go forever. We want it to loop and loop and loop forever. So really, we don't want this loop to stop this way, right? We want this loop to go forever. And I'm going to show you how to control. So right now we've got our robot is going forever. But what we want to do is we need, so right now it's going forever, ever. But we need something that's going to determine whether or not it gets close to something, okay? And that is going to be what's called a switch. Now, I'm not going to get into too much with you right now, but the switch, we're just going to snap it right to here. So now what's going to happen is our robot is going to go forever until something happens. And when this thing, this switch is basically an if-then type of a statement. If this condition is satisfied, then it does what's in the check mark. If this condition is not satisfied, then it does what's down here. So what we want to do is we want to have a condition here that says if I detect an object, I want to back up and turn, okay? So basically what we want to do is here, we want to select, again, it's a switch. We can select our sensor, okay? And we're going to we're going to compare the proximity of something. So again, I think we should set this to something short. I'm going to go with 15 as a compromise, between 10 and 20. Because 20 seems a little too far, 10's a little too close. Don't forget, check the port number that everything's being connected to, and we know that our infrared sensor's on port 4, so we're okay. So now, what is this program telling us? Well, this program is telling us right now that while I'm moving forward, if I detect something within my threshold of a 15, numerical indicator with 15, which is you know, a couple of inches, do nothing. Right now, this operator is going to continuously go through the X, which means do nothing, do nothing. But the problem is, I want it to do something. When this, sorry, let me just explain that again. As long as I'm away from a wall and this threshold is not being met, it goes through the X. It goes through the negative sequence, which means it's just going to go straight through, and the loop's going to send it back here. So this thing's just going to keep going forever. If it gets down and something's within a couple of inches, which means that this is going to be positive, it's going to jump up here, it still will do nothing because it's just going to go right through. There's nothing here for it to do. And that's why we want to put some logic here. We want to put some logic here because this will be fired when this condition is true. When this condition is true, this fires, and what do we want it to do? We want it to go backwards. So I clicked on my previous program, the forward sense stop, you know, the back turn. So because now we want it to go backwards, then we want it to turn. And so I've copied both of these. You click on the first one, so click on the first one, and then you can either control click, or just control. Select it, select the other, control C, go back to our program, control V. Now drag this up, whoops, sorry, my mouse is kind of wonky. Drop her in here. Drop this one up in there too. connect it. Be a little patient, it'll do it for you. So now, if we think about our program, this is going to go forever. The robot's going to go till this condition is, because right now it's going to go. If this condition is not met, it goes through here, it hits the loop, comes back, keeps going around and around and around and around and around till it gets close to a wall or a foot or a cat or a dog, and then bang, all of a sudden this condition is met, it pops up here. What does the robot do? It stops, it backs up, then it turns. Okay? I don't and you know, you can, I'm not really going to get into it. I just wanted to show you guys the concept of this. So we have a loop that now the robot's basically going to go forever. So get that, and I'm going to save that. Okay? I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come down. I'm going to download these all to my robot, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, take a quick break. Let's see what it does. Put my foot in front of it. Oh, I didn't get my foot high enough. There it goes. Stand in front of it again. See what it does on an angle. Ooh, 4x4. The step is to now download these programs to the brick. So there's going to be 4 programs that we're going to put on the brick. I don't want to go into the gory details, but connect your brick either through USB or Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. I actually can do all 3, but I've got it right now. It's connected up to the USB just to show you. And click on download. It doesn't just download the current program, it downloads the whole project. So click on download. Make sure you save your project when you're done before you download. Okay? Mine's already saved because usually there's a star here if there's anything that's been updated. So do a save a project before you download, and then click on here, download. If you want to just download this one program, you could download and run, but I don't like to do that. Obviously, if it's Wi-Fi, that's okay, because it might be sitting on the floor, but if it's connected to the USB, I don't want my thing to take off. So anyways, I did the download, you heard the sound, and then go back over to your brick and navigate to the program, and it should be in the IR sensor folder on the left hand side, and find the programs called forward then back, forward sense off, and run each individually and fool around a little bit. So I hope you've seen the videos, and if depending on how I present this, if you haven't seen the videos already, I hope you have. If you have not, I'm going to be showing them after. So I hope you enjoy yourself, and we'll do another lesson in the next day or 2. Okay, thanks, bye-bye.